Hey, welcome back to the Read Report on My 53 KWVT, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV. I'm Austin Reed. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Austin Reed on Air. You know, we have our TikTok famous segment, but this segment in particular, I'm super excited about. Let's play a clip from the Ellen Show, and then we will introduce you to Austin LeMay, who's with us here in our studio.
No teachers that I had did anything as cool as what you did.
I appreciate that.
How long have you been, are you gunning for Twitch's job? What's going on here?
How you feeling back there, Twitch?
How you feeling?
No, man,
He's coming for you, Twitch.
No, nobody can replace Twitch, man. No, I've been dancing my whole life. I'm a riot at a wedding. That's for sure.
Yeah, I can see that.
No, this dance came out when I was like a senior in high school, and then it started, coming around on TikTok recently, and all the kids were doing an absolute terrible job with it. And I had to show them what's up, man. I'm their teacher. I had to teach them.
You had to teach them.
What's up?
Teach them
doing
up.
It back there in a suit, back there.
So you're
shout out to the suit makers. My pants stood up to that one.
Yeah, very surprising.
Yeah, very
surprising. You're really moving. So you're a teacher in Fresno.
Correct.
Tell us about the school and what do you do there? Yeah. Let's give it up for Fresno. Why not? Go Bulldogs?
5-5.
Yeah.
How do you know that? Good job, man.
Yeah.
Go Bulldogs. No, I work at Tenaya Middle School, which is a 7th and 8th grade middle school.
Yep.
I'm the campus culture and activities director, so I like to consider myself like the czar of fun on campus.
Sure.
Right?
Also, another position that did not exist when I was in middle school.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no fun czar.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. No, I get all the dances, all the clubs, all the rallies and everything. I get to really, kind of oversee all that. I get about 120 students as well. I teach 4 periods of leadership a day. So everything that we do is, is all about making our school and all of the students want to come to school every day, because if you have fun first, the learning part comes easy.
I would want to come to that school.
Thank you.
So how did the viral video come about? What did...
I got to be honest in saying it.
We don't have a studio audience, but I will clap for you. Austin is with us here in our Tower District studios today. Welcome. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Austin.
Yeah.
This has been the easiest name-to-name interview that I've done so far.
I know. At the beginning of the show, I said another groovy Austin is going to be joining us.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, so you are the exact title. Give everybody the exact.
So
title.
I am a teacher at Tenaya Middle School, but my title on campus is campus culture director.
Okay.
For a lot of people in the area, you might be familiar with your high school's activities director, right? And in the last couple of years, that job title has shifted to me in campus culture director. But dances, clubs, rallies, all things extracurricular minus sports, because we do also have athletic directors on campus. I kind of am in charge of that and oversee everything. And then I also teach 4 periods of leadership a day as well. So leadership director, activities director. All my leadership students help me get all the activities on, off the ground. It's just like I said on the show, man. It's I'm like the fun czar. I'm in charge of making sure that all the kids have fun, making sure all the kids want to come to school, that they have a good time that day. So it's a great position, man. I don't know what I did to get so lucky to be here, but here I am, loving every minute of it.
It's a position that is extremely needed, and in many parts of the country, we're seeing cuts. And this mission of kind of becoming TikTok famous has you on a mission to spread that message.
Yeah, 1,000%. And to your point, people saying budget cut a half ago where, we were all distance learning and we were learning from, we were teaching and learning from behind the screen of a computer. And unfortunately, a lot of students are kind of back to that right now with this resurgence in COVID and everything. But, it's really important to get kids excited to be at school, right? And again, like I went to Bullard High School, I went to Tenaya Middle School. I remember my activities director. She was still teaching Lori Momjian was still teaching at Bullard when I started teaching at Bullard a couple of years ago, before I went over to Tenaya. So then throughout all of this and throughout the couple of interviews that I've done, like on Ellen and what have you, I've had some other educators throughout the nation. I was just reading an email from the Pennsauken Township of New Jersey. Their their school board, a member of their school board reached out asking about the position, wants to set up like a Zoom interview to just talk about the role of campus culture directors, what we do on campus, the role we play in cohesion with the rest of our staff and everything like that. So it's pretty cool to know that of all the great things that have happened during this time as a result of this TikTok video, if I can just go around and like help people establish that kind of position on their campus to, first of all, find a person that is befitting of that job, and not to like pat myself on the back or anything, because I belong to a union of California area directors of activities. It's called CATA, where there's thousands of other people that have my same exact job throughout this state, and thousands of other people that do a much better job than I do at their schools than I do at mine. But it's just cool to kind of be at the forefront of this and advocate on behalf of this position. And if I could help establish this role at other schools to bring positive morale and boost school spirit and boost student engagement, then this will have all been worth it.
So when you were on the Ellen show, the episode came out just a couple of weeks ago. You filmed it, maybe
a couple of weeks before that.
Okay, yeah. So at this point now, talk to me about, and you had, who was the guy that was filling in for Ellen?
Adam Devine.
Devine, yeah.
Stand-up comic,
I
actor.
recognized him, obviously.
Yeah.
And I love, we were talking about this just before the interview today. You're like, hey, it's okay that it wasn't Ellen. That dude's big time as well.
I was just flattered that they wanted to put me on an airplane and fly me down to L.A. They could have taken me to like In-N-Out down in L.A. or something. I would have been
more than happy.
More than happy, man. Because again, I'm just a humble guy from Fresno. My students would maybe check me on the humble factor, but no, I've grown up in Fresno my whole life. I've never really had any aspirations of going anywhere. I've had a lot of friends that have picked up and moved and have made great lives for themselves elsewhere, and I've always kind of held it to myself that I wanted to make a great life for myself and my family here in Fresno, because this town has always treated me well, and I hope to do the same for the people of this town, or as many people as I can. So to be reached out to by the various people that I have, yourself as well, it's just awesome. I went from a place a very short time ago, of telling my students, oh, TikTok bad, social media bad, and everything, to now kind of reaping the benefits of just the sheer blind luck that can come about from it. And again, if I can, speak positively on behalf of my students and my school and my colleagues and campus culture directing as a whole, then I don't know if you would have told me that this was going to happen 2 months ago, I don't know if I would have had the answer of what I hope to have come of all of this, but all of this has really been a worthwhile endeavor in my book.
Isn't life weird like that? It's like, what?
The number one thing I'm taking out of all of this is to just live in the moment, and I don't mean to sound cliche, but it really is important to just take opportunities when they come about. Like the fortune cookies sometimes say, a good thing is about to happen to you, and you're like, okay, what is it going to be? Well, this has not been anything that I've expected, but certainly something that I'm happy that has happened, and we'll just try to run with it as long as we can.
$10,000, right? That's and talk about that feeling of when you got the check.
Stupefied is the word that I would have to use, because again, I watch the Ellen show, and I watch a lot of other shows, and I see the people that are doing like tremendous work, right? My wife was when we found out that I was going to be on Ellen, my wife started like doing some vetting of other shows where they've had educators on there, and a teacher that was on before me, like a couple weeks before me, literally YouTubed how to cut hair so he could cut hair for his students. And so when I go on Ellen, I'm like, I don't know if I really match up to that level of like charity or that level of amazingness as an educator. So again, to not only be invited down to Ellen or to be reached out to, by local publications.
Good Morning America too.
Yeah. When the video first came out, Good Morning America and the Today Show put the clip on there, and then just last week I did a little bit more of a in-depth interview with Good Morning America, and they posted that on their social media websites. I think ABC News picked it up too. And so, again, to be living in relative obscurity with the exception of my students and players, seeing me in the grocery store every now and then, to literally walking home one day and there's people honking on their horn and stopping traffic, be like, I saw you on TikTok, and it's really cool. The $10,000 is amazing. A lot of people, they think I should do with that money. I'm still waiting for it in the mail, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But again, it's certainly life altering. I can't say anything more than just how lucky I felt during all of this time, right? And I'll admit, before all of this, especially kind of going into the holidays, I was, like all of us, I'm sure, all are right now, kind of feeling a little down on myself.
Yeah.
Not really having any. There's always positive things going on in our lives, I think, or at least I feel lucky enough to say that about my life. But kind of having that, self-made pity party.
I was feeling that way, same way in December.
Yeah, definitely. And so to have it just
now coming out of it,
to have it just completely change on the turn of a dime without me even having anything to do with it, really, other than just my colleague Miss Jenny put me up on her TikTok account, and then boom, all in 24 hours, life changing experiences up to this point now. So. Yeah, I still feel like I'm living in a bit of a dream, but then I wake up back to reality when my 8-month-old daughter wakes up at 4 a.m. teething, or my students, the biggest reality check was when my students were making fun of the shirt that I decided to wear on Ellen. I was like, okay, I haven't made it too big and famous for my students to just everything you do is great. And we're like, no, Mr. LeMay, you should have taken a different shirt down to L.A. for that one.
I thought you looked good.
Thank you.
And your hair looked great too.
That is an important point for me. I try not to be too vain, man, but this is important, man. As long as my hair is good, everything else is
I know.
good.
I feel the same way. I'm always worried, as I get older, I'm going to lose my hair.
No.
It just stresses me out.
Don't say
I know,
such terrible things.
Yeah, we won't even talk about that. So I want to, if as we talk, if my director can pull up the part of the video of the dance.
Oh yeah,
because I want to kind of talk more about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So start from the beginning.
Well, the jerk, right? The song made famous by the New Boys, and then kind of redone a little after that with the song "Teach Me How to Jerk" by Audio Push. Both kind of came out in the same year, around my senior year of high school. And I don't know if it was when I woke up at 6 a.m. and watched MTV music videos when they still played music videos. Mm-hmm. Or I was watching my
You're
friends
aging
do it or
yourself.
Yeah, I am 30. It is what it is. If anything, I'm saying I miss those days. But no, the dance had kind of started coming about on TikTok, and I saw it kind of creep about on my social media pages and everything. And so then it started happening at school, and I saw my students doing it, and then I started catching wind on TikTok and what have you of my students rating their jerk, right? And all these kids were getting a lot of undeserved 7 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s, right? And not to toot my own horn or anything, but I know I could do it way better than most of them.
Oh, here it is.
And so anyways, I had done it in class a couple of weeks before that, and my student had posted it, and that went locally viral. It got 1 million hits, and a lot of it was my students watching it over and over and over again. So I coordinate these weekly rallies on Fridays, and I play the music and everything. So when this rally happened, the other video had already kind of circulated a little bit, and so my students started asking me, "Hey, Mr. LeMay, play the jerk, and I was like, guys, I don't want to look like the guy that plays the song so that he can have his moment. Put the spotlight on you. That's kind of conceited, I guess. But but then in my walkie-talkie, I hear my principal, Armin Tarigian, who's the new principal at Bullard. He just started there a couple of weeks ago. He's like, "Come on, LeMay, we're expecting you. Let's go." So that's when I start doing that, saunter up to the stage, that little hand on the hip move that just came out of nowhere. And then right about that time is when we're starting to get the kids kind of, shoved back into our main area so that they can break out into their fifth period classes. So it's just kind of like a perfect moment where all the students converged on the stage in our quad area. And when I did the walkout, I could start kind of hearing the rumbling and everything, and all the kids started coming by, and the rest, as they say, is history there. But I love watching this video just because it's fun to see all the kids really getting into it.
Right.
Some of the nastier comments in the comment threads, which there have not been many, but some of them, are like, oh, well, look at this guy, sinking down to his students' levels, or not, completely cashing out on his teaching, and instead just tries to connect through dance and everything. It's like, well, yeah, but it looks like these students are having a lot of fun out here, right? So I don't know. I don't mean to bring up the haters in this conversation, but
they do understand that dance and music is art.
Well, and they should also understand that that's lunch. Exactly. It's 35 minutes a day. I do also teach.
Yeah.
If you think that you should come to school every day from 8:15 to 2:45 and not have any fun,
right,
maybe you should be going to school back in the 30s or 40s or whatever.
Well, and I want to talk about that because it seems that you are, by doing this, you're able to bring a sense of trust, a sense of respect, a sense of just positivity.
I appreciate that, and I think that it definitely checks all those boxes. But throughout all these interviews and everything that I've been doing, the one thing I do want to kind of make mention of is the fact that is 12 seconds of your teaching career. And same goes for every educator that might, stumble upon this kind of opportunity. I've been saying to my students a lot, that I am the campus culture director. I am that one person out of like 45 other teachers and adults on campus who has that job. And I think me and my leadership students do a fantastic job boosting morale. Like, we have some of the highest campus culture and climate survey data points out of our entire district. We survey our entire school. Sorry, my phone's going off there.
Oh, you're good.
We survey our entire school. The entire school district surveys all their schools to pretty much ask, how do you feel about your school from a student perspective, from a parent perspective? And over the last couple of years that I've been there, our statistical data shows that, by and large, our students and our parents and our teachers love being at Tenaya Middle School. So again, not to pat myself on the back, but I feel like I and my team have had a lot to do with that. And again, this is awesome. I'm so elated that this has come about. But what I want to make mention of is the fact that me and my fellow colleagues at Tenaya have been working tirelessly these last couple of years to really make Tenaya a place where people want to go. Right? We're up in Northwest Fresno, where people have a lot of different options of where they can go to school. Which obviously everybody has options of where they can go to school, but it kind of seems like in our neck of the woods, you've got Tenaya, you've got Baird, you've got St. Anthony's. Right down the street, you've got Wawona, you've got Bullard Talent, right in about a square mile radius of each other. 5 different middle schools that you can go to. And for a long time, people were kind of shying away from Tenaya and choosing the other schools for various reasons, and reasons that at the time were pretty well founded. But now we've kind of hopefully flipped that script and are kind of giving people a little bit of pause with respects to where they want to send their kids, or if they're the kids, where they want to go to school. Because at the very least, after your 2 years at Tenaya Middle School, our aim, our goal, our mission is to make sure that you have nothing but positive things to say about your experience. I can't say the same about when I went to Tenaya. When I was a middle schooler, I dealt with a little bit of bullying when I was at Tenaya, and that kind of sullied my experience there. And we're only there for 2 years. Elementary schools in our district get you for 7 years. High schools get you for 4 years.
I know.
If you're me and my college experience, Fresno State got me for 6.
Yeah.
That's
sorry,
okay. Sorry, Mom. Sorry,
you
Dad.
Still passed.
Yeah, we still by the skin
Barely,
of the teeth there. No, it's being a person that's grown up in the community and has sat in the seats my students literally sit in now. It just brings about a whole other level of investment in what we all are trying to do, which is just make the school that we work at a better place, And I hope I would hope at least that if I was working at any other school, I would have the same feeling, right? You know, our job is to make our kids, at least in my opinion, make our kids want to come to school every day. You know, I'm lucky because I get to, you know, like I said, I get to be in charge of all the fun things. But I was an English teacher for my first 3 years teaching at Bullard High School. I like to think that my students like to come to my class then too. So I don't know. It's really cool that this has come about, but I keep on having to pinch myself and tell myself that my day job is teaching. I'm not an influencer. I'm not anything like this, and my 15 minutes of fame is probably just about up. So you know, we just make sure my students keep on loving coming to Tenaya. That's really the end of the day.
I do want to talk about your age. You said you're 30, right? So do you feel that, you know, it's important for kids to have teachers from different age groups, meaning, you know, not all the teachers are in their 60s or 70s. I feel like somebody in your age group in many ways can relate to them a little bit different.
I think if anything, I've kind of playing with house money a little bit because I to your point, I am a little bit more of their generation, right?
Like you know what TikTok is.
Correct.
You're on TikTok.
But to that end, I mean, I've got a lot of more experienced colleagues of mine, you know, teachers who were my teachers when I went to Tenaya who changed my life, and, you know, maybe they didn't have a cell phone in their pocket at the time or a social media account or anything like that, but you know, again, as I keep on, you know, wanting to tell people, like, you know, me dancing is a great way to connect with students, undoubtedly. I also think another great way to connect to students, which I would say all of my colleagues at Tenaya do, and all my colleagues at Bullard and my colleagues throughout the district here, talk to kids, you know, open up to them.
Figure out what kind of music they are listening to.
Well, that or I mean, I feel like honestly, I get more buy-in from my students just every day at the beginning of the day, just telling my students what I got going on. You know, one time it was when I was still teaching at Bullard. One morning, my wife and I were living in a rental house that had a staircase, and I was taking my little puppy out, and we put like a baby gate up at the top of the stairs. And I decided to like step over it, and I fell down the stairs, right? Well, what do I do when I go to work that day after making sure I didn't like blow out an ACL or something? Well, I told my students about that. Like, we spent 20 minutes just talking about the dumb mistake Mr. LeMay made that day and how he didn't have to go to the hospital, right? I don't know. Some teachers would say that's a wasteful use of instructional time. To me, it's like, no, I'm human. I am a person. I have a wife. I have a kid. I have a family that, you know, raised me in this area. And at the very least, you know, I don't want to be the teacher that my students run away from me when they see me down the dairy aisle at the grocery store, right? I want my students to, you know, understand that I am here for them, and just like all my colleagues are there for their students. And it's, you know, if teaching a lot, like a lot of other career paths is much more than your time just at work, right? It's a lifelong commitment that you put yourself in the middle of. And being a teacher was my first ever career choice, right? So I knew from the time that I switched my majors from business to English education at Fresno State my second year in, that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I think all of those things, coupled with my insatiable appetite to be front and center, because I am kind of like an extroverted person, definitely. Yeah. You know, it all just adds up to me loving my job and loving what I do and loving where I work. And I think that, you know, bodes itself well to a teacher that's just, you know, trying to make sure that the kids come to school and want to come to school.
We've got just a couple of minutes left, but I have so many questions for you. Thank you for answering all of them. Has the superintendent reached out to you?
Yeah. Okay. Superintendent Nelson, he's reached out, and he also gave me a really big shout out during our school board meeting a couple of weeks ago. I got it. You know, Bob Nelson, our superintendent, is a really lovely person. He's a nice guy. He's a hard worker. He does a lot of good things for our district. And so for him to take time out of our school board meeting to give us a shout out and to show a little clip of the video was really nice. And, you know, I look up to him as my boss and as a colleague of mine. So that was really nice. Yeah, definitely.
And then I imagine your colleagues are just super supportive.
I'm very lucky to have as many supportive colleagues as I do. First and foremost, my colleague, Miss Jenny, our one of our on-site resource specialty counselors is you know, one of my best friends on campus. She's the one that originally posted the video, so I literally would not be in this position without her. But no, I mean, kind of expect to come to school one day and like some of them are going to be like tired of it and everything, but I mean,
not yet.
To a T, everybody's been super excited, super happy for me, super happy for the kids and the positive exposure that we're getting. I had a mother from Los Angeles call in wanting to buy like Tanaya shirts and Tanaya sweatshirts because she loved the video so much and she loves everything
funny.
that our school represents and stands for. So, and we sent her down a care package a couple of weeks ago, and you know, love to know that people are repping Tanaya down in Los Angeles and everywhere else.
Braves strong.
Yeah, brave strong, man. Brave nation.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Okay, final question. What's next? Do you plan to do more videos now? I mean, you've come this far.
Yeah, I do feel like I have a minute obligation to keep the videos coming. As I said, I have no delusions of grandeur of becoming the next, you know, Logan or Jake Paul or something like that, and, you know, putting my whole life behind it. As I said before, if I were to kind of zig or zag into like a potentially, you know, different avenue of my own career, my hope would be to, again, go, you know, metaphorically speaking, climb on top of the mountain and scream at the top of my lungs how necessary and how awesome it is to have a position like I do as a campus culture director, as an activities director. I don't think there are many schools out there that don't have a person like, you know, in charge with that type of position. But if you don't, you should, because you know, not only am I the campus culture director, but I have a couple of different assistants on campus who teach core subjects, but also help me out. You know, I'm the one person on my campus that has that role, but it literally takes everybody to enact these activities that we're trying to do. Like yesterday, we had a Walk of Champions parade for our second quarter sports teams that won their city championship. So we did like we let the whole school out and they lined the hallway and we did a champions parade, you know, like when the Warriors win and they do their parade through Oakland or something like that. And, you know, that does not happen without the buy-in and the help of every adult on campus. So again, while I am the person that's getting you know, the attention right now, the thing that I want to say most among many things is just how lucky I am to be working with as many beautiful people inside and out as I am, to be working in a district full of, you know, thousands of educators that are committed to, you know, not if you don't grow up in Fresno, you typically don't have a lot of good things to say about Fresno. Well, I'm lucky to be working with people that, you know, fight on behalf of this town, and do what is necessary to make sure our youth, at the very least, knows that they got somebody at their school that loves them. Yeah. So, you know, again, I'm just
to be in the position that I am. I'm lucky to be in the new position that I'm in, and just hope to keep on bringing positivity to Fresno's good name.
At Mr.
Mr. LeMay _.
And that's Instagram and TikTok.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to get on Twitter because my students already have to hear enough of me. They don't need to be reading need to be reading my thoughts and everything too now.
The videos are enough.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Good to
Austin.
meet you.
Same to you.
And keep us posted, okay?
I will, man. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Very good. That is going to do it for our TikTok Famous segment today. Coming up next here on the Reed Report, Women in Business with Lisa Autry. Thanks for joining us, everybody.